Aloha Jivas, welcome to our reading of Bhagavad Gita as it is by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. We are reading chapter 3, Karma Yoga, and we're starting with text 18. Naiva tasya kriten narto, na kriten naha kaschana, na chasya sarva bhuteshu, Kaschirarta vyapashrayaha. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. Purport. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and except activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. Text 19. Tasmada shaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara ashakto hyacharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. Purport. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees and liberation for the impersonalist. A person, therefore, acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of the work is certainly making progress toward the supreme goal of life. Arjuna is told that he should fight in the battle of Kurukshetra for the interest of Krishna, because Krishna wanted him to fight. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment, but to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. That is perfect action of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to the reactions of good or evil work. A Krishna conscious person has no attachment for the result, but acts on behalf of Krishna alone. He engages in all kinds of activities, but is completely non-attached. Text 20. Karma naiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadayaha loka sangraham evapi sampasyan kartum arhasi. Even kings like Janaka and others attained the perfectional stage by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. Purport. Kings like Janaka and others were all self-realized souls. Consequently, they had no obligation to perform the prescribed duties in the Vedas. Nonetheless, they performed all prescribed activities just to set examples for the people in general. Janaka was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Ram. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendentally situated. But because he was the king of Mithila, a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to fight righteously in battle. He and his subjects fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, every effort was made to avoid the war, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the other party was determined to fight. So for such a right cause, there is a necessity for fighting. Although one who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have any interest in the world, he still works to teach the public how to live and how to act. Experienced persons in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow, and this is explained in the following verse. Text 21. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadevataro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastaruna vartate. Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Purport. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly even before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or the ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra, which means scripture, to reach the common man. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and similar others are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teaching should be based on the principles of the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees, and that is the way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of a state, the father and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes. So, these tenets of like spiritual philosophy in the Gita are not just solely for like spiritually minded people. I mean, it's the recommended philosophy for all people of society. And if society as a whole valued spiritual tenets, then we would be living in a much happier place, free from war and homelessness and all those things that are a result of corruption, mismanagement, and what's considered the game of politics, which is basically money. So what this is saying is, anyone who's in a leadership position has the most responsibility to be a model of righteousness. And so even those people in history, of course these are probably during ages that were not Kali Yuga, but because Kali Yuga is defined, or one of the characteristics of Kali Yuga is corrupted governments and leaders, and but in other ages like Satya Yuga, where the mode of goodness is more prevalent, then the leaders were righteous leaders modeling spiritual behaviors, righteous behaviors. So even those people, it's saying, still have the responsibility to fulfill the duties that their leadership roles require. So even those transcendental personalities still have to act in the world according to what their, what their roles, responsibilities are. But yeah, I guess, the rule of repetition that, I think we are hearing here, these are things that we've heard, so frequently so far in just the, this little bit of the book. This repetition, helps to get these ideas in your head, right? It's like more easy to remember those things the more you hear them. So thank you for joining me again today. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Hare Krishna.